So when we have new buildings, one item to consider is just construction sequencing. And you should consider it early in the design process, because what you don't want are building trades getting up there, specifically installation of the HVAC or parapet work or those kinds of things occurring after your eco-roof has been installed, just because there's going to be compaction, plant material is going to get hit, you might snap off some irrigation heads, those kinds of things. So just when you're talking about the building construction, those things, make sure you mention or at least have a conversation about how is this going to be sequenced, and ensure that that eco-roof is going to be kind of the last thing or close to the last thing installed once the roof is completed. And then on existing buildings, there's usually fewer complications with the trades, but what's important is that many times if you're doing a re-roofing or that kind of thing, or you're getting trades up on the roof, many times existing building owners might want to do some equipment upgrades or fixes to their building. So if those items are going to occur during this re-roofing and installation of a new eco-roof, just be sure to have those completed prior to installation of the eco-roof. So does that make sense? I guess, yeah, HVAC replacement, parapet flashing, roof penetrations. It's just a good time for existing building owners to get those things done, to get those out of the way before that eco-roof gets installed. And then a little bit on water again, but just all the other items that come with the ownership of an eco-roof are, you need some space for those things. And so mechanical rooms are really good places to have items like irrigation controllers. We're recommending that if you're going to put in an irrigation system, put in a flow meter, so you know exactly how much water you're using on your roof. We have a flow meter that was installed after the fact. Is that correct, Tom? So after the fact on this roof, because sure, you can design it and you know the gallons per minute of the flow of those irrigation heads and you can do the calculations, but you may not know exactly what those flows are. And you can also then measure if you have a leak or a break or those items as well. You'll be able to see how much water flowed out of the system, or if you have a leak, for instance, you can determine that I've had the system off for the last 3 months and yet it's still, the meter's slowly running still. So I think that's just good in general when it comes to irrigation systems.
There's one other part about having a meter is that you can use it as a deduct meter on your sewer fee. So we charge sewer fees based, this is a sanitary sewer fee, we charge it based on the water use in a building. So if you're irrigating the roof and that water, if you can track how much you're irrigating, then you can deduct that from the cost. Now, there's a fee for doing that, so there's a certain point where it doesn't pay off to do it, but at some point it does. And we can give you information about that separately from this discussion. We'll talk about it more.
Are you talking about in your water bill?
In your water bill, yes.
So there's a processing fee if you're going to apply for a deduct meter. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there's it's a user fee, or it's an operational fee of some sort. It's $20 a month. So that's a lot of water. So unless you're using more than that, and we're actually hoping that you're going to find a system that doesn't use too much, that you don't even need that, because it's just more trouble. It can be more trouble than it's worth.
Mm-hmm. So the other items that you might have are just pruning and mowing tools. You know, if you're up there maybe maintaining it yourself or the building owner's maintaining it. Then places to put some of the waste that you might collect. We've had a couple, we've seen some roofs where there might be a pile of composting debris in a corner, and it's unfortunate because it detracts a little bit from the aesthetics, but yet, because there really wasn't a place designed to put it. So encompass not only just that this design is going to be beautiful and you're going to have sedum, but there's also going to be some things that are come with it. So just do what you can to include these other items that are maybe not as directly impacting the aesthetics or the design of the system, but make it easier for maintenance crews and those things to use this and to maintain it. Waste and recycling containers, and then also just rooftop access and footpaths. You know, knowing that, acknowledging the fact that the HVAC units may need to be maintained or used. Talk with the building maintenance crew or whoever might be maintaining that stuff, ask them where they would prefer to have footpaths, and just acknowledge that that's going to be something that you shouldn't put sedums there because they just will be walked on consistently throughout the lifetime of the roof. And then also just access, out of doorways and those kinds of things. If you're going to be wanting to walk around or check the perimeter of the eco roof, maybe you'll put in a couple of footpaths just to reduce the impact of that onto the vegetation.
If the client asks, what is the additional maintenance that we need to consider in terms of labor for eco-roofing? Does it have to do with the type of vegetation, or can you say maintenance free, or yes, maybe on the FTE, or what do you, is there some sort of chart to?
We're definitely going to get it. We have a whole section on operations and maintenance next week. But it's a good question. I hope we will answer it then.